Yeah. Yeah, we're back. We're back. You missed us, didn't you? It's Friday, so you know what that means. Let's welcome tonight's guest. Sherwin-Williams named their whitest paint after him. Fox News contributor Tom Shalhoub. He has gun permits for his arms and construction permits for his legs. Fox News contributor Johnny Joey Jones. When in doubt, she'll deep fry it out. Co-host of The Bottom Line on Fox Business. Fox Business? What's happening to me? Dagan McDowell. And every Halloween, adults come to his door and give him candy. New York Times bestselling author, comedian, former NWA world champion, Taurus. All right. Before we get to some news stories, let's do this.
Greg's Leftovers.
Pain in my leg. All right. It's Leftovers, where I read the jokes that we didn't use this week, and there were a lot. And as always, it's my first time reading these, so if they suck, we'll take out Joe Mackey's teeth one by one with a pair of rusty pliers. He likes it. All right, a new study says sexual satisfaction may be key to delaying the onset of dementia. So you better get on that, Dr. Jill. You're disgusting. You're disgusting. President Biden has officially condemned Hamas, saying he prefers salsa or guac with his pita bread and chips. The Australian version of Maxim magazine has placed Daniel Laidley, a biological man, at number 92 on its list of 100 hottest women. No comment yet from number 93. Gary Shandling, R.I.P. Researchers have found that certain species of female frogs will lay completely still and play dead to fend off potential mates. Huh. Too bad they never worked with my uncle.
Ew.
You like to have sex with frogs. All right.
Not better.
That made it worse?
That made it worse.
All right. Oh. Who knew? A former Girl Scout treasurer in Delaware was arrested for allegedly stealing $12,000. The treasurer may have gotten away with it for so long because none of the Girl Scouts could do math. A sexist would say, I agree, that's a terrible joke. Joe Mackey just lost a tooth. Joe Biden said the alleged rocket attack on a Gaza hospital was, quote, done by the other team. Incredulous reporters wondered, why is he blaming homosexuals? Analysts say customers are rejecting Disney's new woke image even at their theme parks. Apparently, they drew the line at Tinkerbell's penis. Tinkerbell's penis.
Don't ruin that for me. Don't ruin that for me.
Reports earlier this weekend confirmed that Disney inked a big deal with China's TikTok. It's Disney's worst pairing since Sleeping Beauty replaced Prince Charming with Bill Cosby. I know. An EasyJet flight was canceled because a passenger took a dump on the bathroom floor. Where do they think this is, Air Force One? Wow. You love a good joke. Now, while passengers said the smell was very offensive, the travelers on their way back to San Francisco didn't seem to mind. New reports are claiming that this year's heaviest pumpkin could make up to over 700 pies. 700 pies, you ask? A recent mouse study revealed a link between dementia and inhaling menthol, although the mice did report they were alive with pleasure. Do you think they used white mice, Tyrus?
Probably not.
New York Mayor Eric Adams has returned from his trip to Mexico, where he met with potential migrants, warning that if they aren't careful, they could end up in New York. President Biden has a new ad assuring voters he's not too old to run again. He's also claiming that his Jamaican caregiver is stealing from him. Thanks to a public fundraising drive, the world's first vagina museum will reopen next month in London. Apparently, it was closed for 5 days last month. Yeah. There were a lot of ways to go with that joke, and that was the cleanest one. According to a new study, ice cream and potato chips are as addictive as cocaine and heroin. And you can trust the results of the study because it was conducted by experts. A live-action version of the animated series Gargoyles is in the works, and you'll never guess who's been cast to play the lead roles. 1, 2. And finally, according to a recent study, 49% of people in serious relationships think about someone else during sex. And you'll never guess who that someone is. All right. Let's do some news. This week, we saw the media get duped by another hoax, and this time, what a monumental up. On Tuesday, a rocket fired by nearsighted Jew haters hit a hospital in Gaza. Of course, Hamas blamed Israel and claimed 500 people had been killed. Obvious lies, but it still was hand-delivered by the Hamas PR department, our mainstream media, who ran with it like Carl Lewis with a Qassam missile up his ass. They got the story completely wrong because they took the word of terrorists. And like accepting a parcel from Ted Kaczynski, it blew up in their faces. Damn. It ran on the New York Times front page, and there was an AP headline that ran, quote, Hamas-run health ministry says Israeli airstrike on hospital killed hundreds. And our old pals at CNN tagged the news from the Palestinian health ministry. Reuters cited Gaza health authorities. In other words, Hamas. But you'd think the media would have learned a lesson after being duped hoax after hoax. The Covington kids, Smollett, the Bubba Wallace news, the P-tape, Russian collusion saying Hunter's laptop was Russian disinfo. But they can't stop. Why is that? Because they're told what they wanted to hear by the people they wanted to believe. They already knew who the good guys and bad guys were. Whether it's Jussie, Hamas, or BLM, in the universal filter of oppression, they are the oppressed and you are the oppressor. And if cities go up in flames, blame the Jews. So are they admitting that they screwed up? Not a chance. Because doing so means the people that they really hate, namely us, were right about something, and they can't have that. Meanwhile, our commander in padded briefs, instead of focusing solely on Israel, linked it to Ukraine.
I know these conflicts can seem far away, and it's natural to ask, why does this matter to America? So let me share with you why making sure Israel and Ukraine succeed is vital for America's national security. You know, history has taught us that when terrorists don't pay a price for their terror, when dictators don't pay a price for their aggression, they cause more chaos and death and more destruction. If we walk away from Ukraine, if we turn our backs on Israel, it's just not worth it.
All right, so why this arranged marriage between a fresh tragedy and a dragged-out war? That's not clarity, far from it. The trick is, if you're against aid to Ukraine, well, then you hurt Israel. But there's something gross about using a terrible event as part of a package deal. It reduces its horror and its meaning. What a wasted opportunity to bring clarity to an event by saying what no one else will say, that we are dealing in the here and now, not history that goes back centuries. This is why the passion of co-eds is so laughable. For it's truly amazing that someone born in 2005 has the solution to a problem that's vexed humanity since Biden was sniffing the hair of a woolly mammoth. History is often used to justify present-day horror, putting the onus on you to endure long, endless screamathons with ignorant babies. And no one screams louder than today's college students, who warmed up their lungs bitching about pronouns and bathrooms and the cultural appropriation of the cafeteria's Taco Tuesdays. For the left, it's a game with no end, especially when they're getting paid for it. Oh, that's right. I already introduced you guys. Tommy?
Yeah.
Happy Friday.
Yes.
Yeah?
Greg, yeah.
What would you choose to respond to? The media, who always rush to believe the bad guy.
Yes, and I love what you said about it reduces Biden's speech
reduce the effectiveness of both arguments. It's like when you watch an ad on TV and they don't stop selling you things and they give you, now how much would you pay? But don't stop there. We get you a set of steak knives.
Yeah.
And you know, oh, that original product stinks. I don't need a potato peeler, you know? And so that's what he's doing. He's essentially, this is very fresh. Hamas just slaughtered all these Israelis, and he throws it in with, you know, his last pet project, and it really weakens it. It's terrible.
Yeah.
And then, how many times did he mention in the U.S.? It was like he was saying, you know, he was like, I felt like he couldn't read his teleprompter. You know, he's like, he's looking really hard. You know, it's like, open your eyes, maybe you'll see it.
Yeah.
But the.
Like, it's like his eyelids are like blinds that he draws down as he's sleepy.
You're going to flip them up. But how many times did he mention the United States? You know, he says, oh, terrorism is terrible. We know we have terrorists here in this country. He's still trying to pound that, like, MAGA as terrorist thing. He throws in all his pet projects in here. I thought it was totally weak. And, I mean, I think it's remarkable that, you know, that you know, he got bad reviews, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did. Okay.
There you go. All right. Way to end weekly.
Well, that was his point.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, there you go. Joey, how damaging is this sort of misinformation for the people who are fighting in this war as a veteran who has fought 2 wars?
Yeah, you know what's great is if you really want to lose a war, go into it not really wanting to fight it to begin with. And that's what really pisses me off about when he gave this speech. I think what really bothered me most is he subtly threw in Iran in one sentence, and then almost immediately went to he said, you know, Israel is not responsible for what happened at the hospital, but we have to make sure we abide by the rules of war. You know, how else can you talk out of both sides of your mouth? You know, at his age and ability, probably like choosing food comes out both sides of his mouth.
Yeah.
But in this point, it was, you know, this self-righteous indignation coming out both sides of his mouth. When you say something like that in an address that important, you're saying nothing less than, hey, those of you who are kind of saying that Israel is committing war crimes, man, I hear you. I hear what you're saying, and I'm going to make sure they don't. This is the sad truth of war. When you go to war, you are choosing to commit evil so that evil can't be committed to you. There's nothing pure or righteous about war, but there's something righteous about defending yourself so that the innocent people you're responsible for don't suffer while you're in charge. I would hate to be Benjamin Netanyahu. I would hate to be the President of the United States because going to war is the worst thing in the world you could do. But if you're going to go to war, go to war to win. And the sad truth, babies are going to die either way. But do they die because someone from Hamas attacked them and tried to kill them, or do they die because Israel is trying to get rid of Hamas, bombs a facility that has Hamas terrorists in it, and a baby's too close? That's the only difference.
Yeah.
And to sit here and parse it out and try to make it into something that's not, I fought 2 wars that we tried not to win because we had to have clean hands. Well, guess what? We don't have clean hands, and we lost them.
There you go. Dagan, why doesn't the media ever fess up for their mistakes? You're in the media. You admit wrongdoing constantly, often on this show.
Yes, and Tyrus knows this as a man. If you ever want to get laid again, what do you tell your woman? I up.
Yeah.
If you ever want to get keep your job, or you know what, if you actually have a moral core, you admit when you're wrong. If you want to live with yourself, but these people don't because, well, 1, they're arrogant, and 2, they are Hamas supporters. And their bias betrayed them. That's why they were so quick to jump on this story, because they side with against Israel, the oppressor, and they side with the terrorists because that they view Palestine as the oppressed. Again, that is actually the colonizer and the colonized. That's old Soviet Union propaganda. How funny is that they've picked up and run with over these years? But it would be, if you just said it like this, I would be fine with it. Why would you, when they reported all these stories, if they just came out and said, terrorists told us so, that is the truth telling, if they just said it that way.
All right, Tyrus, you want to talk about Joe or the media?
Well, it's all connected. It's all connected. It comes down to one thing. This nation, we have a war over accountability, because you can say things and do things without any accountability. You can ruin someone's life. You can make crazy. You can argue. There's no such thing as a woman anymore because there's no accountability, right? And so when you want to say Hamas is for the freedom fighters for Palestine and the Jews are horrible monsters that are doing all these things, there's no consequences. It used to be when a reporter got it wrong, he had to drag his ass on in front of the TV and be like, "Ladies and gentlemen, I reported wrong. And I have a correction." He had to do it personally, or even better, if it was such a glaring mistake, he was fired. So he was gone. Nobody was fired for getting it wrong, because getting that story wrong lit a fire across the world. There was the next day, people were trying to burn down embassies. Countries are saying, "Get the hell out of Lebanon," because you got it wrong. But we live in this time, and this young group, they can go out and they can say anything they want to because no consequences. What was everybody upset about? Not that the kids signed a petition. It was because they're not going to get jobs now.
Yeah.
It's not fair. No, it's called accountability. So as long as we continue to have this argument, we're like, well, they can't respond. Israel can't go in there and wipe out because it's not the Palestinians' fault.
Yeah.
It's Hamas's. No, it's not Hamas's fault. It's their fault. So therefore, you can't do anything. Now we're seeing Israel lives by a different guide. They live by the accountability. If you come into my house with a stick and hit me with a stick, I'm going to come at you with a gun. And they have every right to do so. So this argument that we're seeing across, and then our president comes on, I'm just going to say it. Listen, it was difficult for me, so I understand, Mr. President, but sometimes, you just got to do it. You got to put the damn glasses on because no one's afraid of this.
There you go. All right.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.